Table? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, cell phone should be in vibrate. Welcome to the U.S. Open 10-Ball Championship, proudly presented by CueSports International and hosted here in Las Vegas at Griff's Billiards. So right now we are down to our final match. It is 1 race to 11, alternate break. Let's meet our two opponents for the finals. First up, coming up the one-loss side and hailing from New Zealand, we put our hands together for Marco Teutscher. And our only undefeated player in the event, hailing from the Philippines, Dennis Orcollo. Gentlemen, have a great match, and you may lag for break.
Are we on? Well, welcome, everyone. This is the finals of the U.S. Open 10-Ball Championships here at Griff's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Griff's Billiards. These guys started 2 days ago. Actually, this is the third day. And all even. There was 36 players playing. We're down to the last two. Dennis Orcollo and Marco Teutscher. Marco is from New Zealand. Dennis, of course, from the Philippines. This is a race to 11, single race to 11. This is George Teutscher in the booth, along with Jeremy Jones. Jeremy Jones, our commentator that gives us all the ins and outs, what's to do.
Well,
these guys
tend to learn a bit up here too. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Getting to sweat the best in the world constantly. It can't hurt your pool game.
No, it can help the the pool game. It's just now you just have to go out there and be able to execute it. Well, Marco won the break, won the lag, so he's won the break. If it goes hill, he will be breaking.
Well, he got kind of a bad kiss on the cue ball there that knocked it some distance away from the one, but he's still got a shot on the one to get the run started. And the two's pretty available across the table. The 4 goes in the side by the 8. Now getting from the 4 to the 5 to the 6, that's really the work besides this opening 1 ball.
This is a 9-foot diamond table with Simonis cloth. The Cyclop Hyperion balls. We are sponsored by Griff, Cyclop, Kamui, Predator, Simonis, JB Cases, Discount Custom Apparel. And it's proudly presented by CueSports International. Both these guys have put on quite a show all week.
Yeah, it's going to get him maybe elevated. Okay, he ran just enough to that wouldn't have been total death over the 6, but it would have made him probably an underdog a little bit anyways to get out probably.
Make that long straight in. He's just going to stop right there and say, I'll come around for the 5, no problem.
Yeah, and there's a question there, you know, if you'd like to shoot the 5 from fairly full, especially if you're cutting it down the rail past the side pocket, but if you don't get dead straight, it's hard to stay on the short side, and if you just get a little bit of an angle, the shot becomes more difficult trying to hit it with speed to get across for the 6.
Right.
So we'll see if he tries to get a lot out of this too. Maybe to get to the 4 to where he can play the 5 in the lower right. Right now, it kind of looks like most likely it'll be the 5 in the upper left. I mean, excuse me, upper right. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, but he'd like to get it. See where it's at now?
That's where he'd like to be.
Well, that's the angle. Yeah, exactly. Either dead straight or a little bit more angle, because that's the exact angle I was talking about that becomes a little funny, because now you got to power up a little bit, or you're following the ball kind of on top of the 6. So we'll see. I would rather try to fall dead straight, I think, and just play for the short side. Oh, well, they got a lot of
dead straight. He's got a lot of spin on this.
Well, he overcut the 4 to the hole a lot, and on that type of shot, that will add that extra foot of speed on the cue ball. And maybe he overhit it a touch, huh?
Still has a shot. He's overhit it a little bit, but he still has a shot here that he can keep on the rail and come over to the left side of the table for the 7, for the 6. Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's real natural as far as position.
As far as position goes.
Yeah.
Making the ball, that's another story. A little tougher. But these guys excel at shots like this.
Yeah, I don't want to bet against them. Like I said all the time.
Left it out a little bit, but it worked. Started to come out. If that pocket was about 8 inches further down, it would have been outside.
Yeah, most likely, huh?
Yeah. But it was where it is, and he hit it good enough to make it. And he's going to like the rest of this.
And it's a 1-race final, so that 1 loss for Marco is erased.
Yeah, the only undefeated player here is Dennis. Marco actually lost to Dennis 9-6. 9-6.
Yeah, I believe if I remember correctly, both these guys opened with a break and run in the hot seat match. And then Dennis got out to a lead and then a bigger lead, and then lost 3 games in a row towards the end and before winning that 9th game and securing the hot seat.
That's exactly. Actually, they both traded racks for the first 3. So they were tied at 3, and then Dennis rattled off 5 games in a row, and Marco came back with 3 of his own, and then Dennis took it off. And he started out here with the break and run. He just let Dennis know, I'm the same guy that, you know, gave you all you could handle early this afternoon. Actually at noon. And I'm still here. Dennis thinks, when's this going to get easy? He just keeps right on trucking, though. Marco's chowing down a little bit between shots. Some kind of a protein bar, looks like. Dennis looks like he's taking dead aim for this. Look at this cue ball.
Yeah, but he crossed it a little. Broke from what his left is and hit a little bit on the right side of the 1. That's why the cue ball's on that side of the table, and that's the one that misses them balls, it seems like, fairly consistently.
And he's broke dry.
Yeah, and he's going to go for this cross side bank, I believe. I think the 2 goes by the 4. Now this is where you wouldn't think it makes a difference, and maybe it shouldn't, but if you're on the fence here on a safety or a shot, and we always talk about, well, if they're equally hard, you go for the offense because a lot of good things can happen and whatnot, but also, do you bring in that, hey, it's his break I'm trying to steal this game on? So does that lean towards maybe going even more so for an offensive shot, considering I get to break next?
I don't know.
If you're in Marco's
yeah,
position,
Marco,
like here.
I think we had this discussion, and I still feel like if you start, that's too much to think about.
Right.
I like to just think about the shot, and this is my shot, and I take it game by game. Is it the right thing to do to win this game?
Right.
But to try to steal the game, of course, you want to. You want to win every game. So I don't know that you let that enter your mind, or does it enter your mind?
Yeah, and you know, I say that it's come up a couple times where people have brought it up to me where I've shot a shot where they, you know, good friends of mine told me, hey, did you ever think, hey, you get to break next? And why didn't you go for maybe that bank on a shot to win the tournament too? And just so happened it was in the finals of a couple of different events when it got brought up to me and went on to lose the finals. And I think there is a scenario that does change your mind in a sense, and it may be at that hill or close to hill, meaning you're up 8-7 and your opponent broke, and you do get to break on the hill and maybe passing on a shot that could have maybe won you the tournament with another opportunity to shoot at it. And just not long ago we had a situation like that in a big event. It was talked about. So
no, it makes perfect sense, and I think
I don't think it's an every game thing you do, you know. So or every time it's your opponent's break, you look for a way to take a low percentage shot to steal the game, especially at a pro level.
Yeah. Well, at this level. This level's higher than what I've achieved, so I listen to you and listen to players of that nature.
Man, I think there's always to learn on it.
I try to observe, you know, guys when I'm around these guys, and those are questions that I might ask them in the future.
Well,
if they even think about it.
Sports is a combination of disciplines, like you said, play the game the same way every time, but also being realistic with human nature and human thoughts and what comes in your mind. You have to decipher between the both and make them both work together. That's why I think you and I talked about, I said that, you know, I've had times where I had this long rail bank where my gut was telling me now's the time to play safe, and I've had almost the exact same shot where my gut told me, hey, whether I'm feeling it, I don't know how you label it, but it was telling me otherwise. Now's the time to bury this long rail bank.
Yeah, and I think it's how you're feeling at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
nice shot there.
Yeah, real nice. And I think it is a combination of deciphering between the both, meaning knowing when you have to pull on the reins a bit, but also you have to be a little carefree playing this game at times.
And I think being a little carefree relieves some of the tension.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like a player that doesn't know how difficult the situation is because they're inexperienced, so they get down and just knock a ball in.
Exactly.
So we always comment about that once you learn the game, things sometimes become, man, that shot there, he has really impressed me to where with the 8 kind of playable, I'm killing that ball because of, I think it's way tougher execution to go back and forth on a real nice line across the top of the 10, but not put too much on it to where you don't involve a scratch in the side. He's done that on a number of occasions, and under pressure, that's impressive.
Yeah, he's done it very, very well. I mean, there's drills. Kenister has on his.
Yeah, we've used a lot of them in different trainings. So
in trainings and stuff, and that's one of the things he works on.
Gotta watch out here.
Is that going to get away from him?
Watch out here.
Yeah, a little too much.
Yeah, and he's thin, so he's going to have to spin this in, I think. I don't think he can afford to cut it. Maybe.
He's cutting it like it's a hanger. He's changed his mind. You looked at it a second time and said, maybe this isn't a hanger. And that'd be kind of surprising too, the fact that he gets up and just shoots that shot that rapidly when he's taken more time on much easier shots.
Well, I think if he naturally cuts it, he's flirting with going right at the 10. He hit it pretty well.
Yeah. And cut number 2 coming right up.
Yep. He'll regroup, though.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, if you cut that one, this one is on the easier side than the last one.
Well, it's definitely not as thin. He's on a nice line as far as the cue ball, though.
Is he looking to back cut this?
Yeah, I think both ways is
Both ways?
fairly similar. It's fairly straight up and down. But he's got a nice 4-rail line on the cue ball, so there's not really any problems there.
Made it. Just drained it right dead center.
And out to a great start at 2-0.
And 2 shots letting you know that the nerves don't seem to be present. Marco Teutscher defeated Mason Koch, Skyler Woodward, Shane Van Boning, Torsten Homan, lost to Dennis, and then came back and just now defeated Jeffrey DeLuna to meet Dennis in the final. Dennis put him on the 1-loss side at the hot seat match. And he's in position to go ahead 3-0 with another good break and run. Or a break, control, and get back to the table to finish and close it out. But there's a man in the chair that if you let him off that chair is awfully dangerous. He doesn't look concerned. Early in the game, 2-0. We've seen has been overcome and overcome many, many times throughout the course of the tournament. We've seen 4-0 overcome.
Well, he broke those, hit him really square. The 10 ball moved up by that side pocket again, and he's got a 2 ball that he could see, but I don't like his chances of going offensive. The center of the table is so open, it's a little difficult to get a guaranteed snooker. I'd like to try and put him behind the 5, but man, you want to move the 2 away as well doing so. You don't want the 2 to just be out there because it's not a guarantee to get up underneath that 5. It's one I think he'll get there. But he could play the 2 back across and run the cue ball over to that opposite side rail. Now that shot there, the one thing about it is if you take a little extra time to think about how you want the balls to travel, you're never going to really miss the safety. If you'll notice, he kind of last second saw it and kind of assumed it was easy, and he lost the speed of not only the cue ball, but severely on the object ball.
Yeah. And you don't want to leave the 2 ball in front of the pocket either, because that makes that kick.
Or the jump, yeah.
Or the jump. Well, it's a long way to jump. But
yeah, but either way, you don't want it near the hole, that's for sure. And even more so, an open shot that I think Dennis is going to cut at. It's a little scary because the cue ball is going to have a lot of speed, but I don't think he can clip the 2 and escape hitting the 5 and running the cue ball, can he? I think that's asking a lot, so you may see him go after this cut shot here. And I think that was, I think that was what he had to do.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Got a big pocket here if he banks it a little long, just a little long, which is the tendency on this table.
Just don't stay straight in for the 4 ball.
Right. Be aware of that one.
Yeah.
And he's going forward, it looks like. He's not elevated at all, so is he slow rolling this? That'd be hard to believe. There's that big pocket.
He used every bit of it, opened up what he had to, and now the table just got fairly simple for him.
Yeah, just don't back off the line here. Make sure you get to that rail. There you go. Sometimes you have a tendency to back off of that stroke a little bit because the side pocket scares you, and you let it go one rail right in that corner. And you're like, how did I ever do that? And it was just a little bit of being a little timid. Well, all right, Dennis, got to pay attention here. I don't want it to get away from you too much because the 10's not like a cold-blooded hanger or anything. Meaning he's got to go back and forth on this ball pretty decent.
Does he stay on the low side of the 10 or come up high?
Oh, definitely the low, I think.
Yeah, it's just so much easier to make sure he keeps that side pocket out of play.
It wants to almost naturally do it for you if you have the speed correct.
Sure, and the reason I asked you was because we saw Marco do just the opposite.
Yeah, he'll move
times.
above. Yeah.
He'll move above. Yeah.
Well, there's 2 rails back and forth or 3 rails with high inside.
He was moving above. Well, here's a chance for Dennis to just put this all back to even and get right back on break because he was able to steal Marco's break there on the 3rd game. And get it all back to a race to 7. A race to 9 instead of a race to 11. This is a race to 11, in case I didn't mention it earlier. I believe I did. But either way, single race to 11 in the finals of the U.S. Open 10-ball championships for 2019 being held here at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada. You're watching John Lehman, our tournament director and head referee, rack the balls for these 2 champions. And you have Jeremy Jones in the booth, right along with myself, George Teutscher. Bringing you the play-by-play action. We were bringing you the live action on the other tables, but they're all gone now because most of them are watching and getting ready for tomorrow's U.S. Open 8-ball championship.
Yeah, no rest for the weary.
They're about to do the draw, I believe, at 7 o'clock. There's 36 players signed up, registered. And things will get started at noon tomorrow on the live stream. Dennis to break the balls here. Nothing you like more than to break and run to tie things up and not let Marco come out of that chair. He's saying that 27-year-old young man from New Zealand plays pretty darn good. He can just sit down and watch me for a while.
Wow, making 4 on the break.
Look at this break.
Pretty straight in past this 2 ball. He's not going to have much of a shot that requires or that is very difficult.
You know, if you play 2-way shots, it'd be a good time to take a 2-way shot at the 10 ball, but it doesn't do you any good.
No. Oh, no.
Dennis. What am I doing, he said. Dennis Orcollo missed that ball. Something you don't see him do but about every 3rd tournament.
Yeah.
Straight in like that.
He was down on it pretty quick, and sometimes when you know, he broke and made 4, and the way it happened, and all of them just kind of leaking in, and got a little of applause for it just because it was a little different. And sometimes when you have a little something like that happen, it doesn't matter what it is. You take a hair extra time. Because when we see it a lot, you make a great shot.
Take your eye off the prize.
Yeah, you got something that you fall pretty good position on, or something that's much easier than what you had just done, and we have that ooh, and then that let down a little bit. Just got away from Dennis there, and
costly.
Yeah, very, and we'll see just how costly here in this next break, but something that'll remind Dennis that, hey, they don't go in on their own.
Early in the match, you know, 4 games have been played. it is a race to 11. Dennis got here by defeating, well, first off with the bye, then he defeated Jimmy Henry 9-4, John Mora 9-5, Kevin Chang 9-3, and then Jeff DeLuna in a nail biter at 9-8. That was Jeff last night to get to the hot seat match. And we find ourselves here, final day of day 3 of the 10-ball championships. And young Marco Teutscher.
Well, he's played awfully solid, and we've seen a lot of different great tools, very solid fundamentals, and can break the balls with power and jumps the ball well. One of the most impressive things, kicking at the balls.
And making shot making too.
Yeah, and shot making. So really a young man that is looking to improve, but already has a ton of what you need to win tournaments. And one of the most impressive maybe is how well he's repeatedly hit the cue ball. In big moments, a lot of players get quick, and he's really trusted what he's been working on. It seems, that's for sure. He's been training. And here, kind of picking up the pace a little bit. We normally have seen him take some time on, especially at the beginning of a rack.
That's actually a great observation because, yes, his matches have gone. Well, the one with Skyler started things off, was a 3-hour match.
Yeah, and we've had
in 2-hour allotments.
2-hour plus matches a few times. Yeah. Okay, big stroke here if he's drawing across. It doesn't really want to hit the 10 coming back across. Probably wants to get above it. And that's what I'm talking about as far as really trusting the stroke. I mean, it's almost like when I teach pool and I talk about a fundamental for today's game, this is the fundamental that's pretty ideal, meaning really trusting the rollout of the ball, not really overhitting the ball too often. Real clean strikes. With Simona's cloth, like when you and I started, George, we had to kind of punch it and spin it to do things because of the equipment.
The equipment that
today's equipment is much
felt.
different.
It wasn't the
pool balls too.
wool.
The pool balls too. The pool balls very inconsistent and much lighter as a whole. Now they match with the felt to where there's a lot of easy movement.
Yeah, you had the big cue ball on the bar box.
Right,
just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the 7-footers. Just look at the 7-footers if you want to talk about how technology and the game evolving as far as the equipment side, where that's gone. And I was wondering what he's going to do here. And that was just kind of I hope it stays there where I can cut it, but otherwise I got a pretty jam up safety on the 6 behind the 8. Now don't let it get away from you and not get a rail, okay? He did just fine, and he put the 6 below the 10, which makes things even more difficult for that one rail kick.
And if he goes 2 rails to the top, the 7-ball might have a piece of him. He's called it there in the corner.
Yeah,
he is going 2 rails.
I think he might be going 1. I think you're right about the 7. I think he's got to go 1 rail here. But I mean, he's got to call one of the sides to cut it to, because he's not going to hit it hard enough to bank it somewhere, right? But he might hit it hard enough to cut it in one of those corners that's near.
And if he overcuts it, it might drain over to the bottom rail, and the cue ball goes back up.
Yeah, but more so he wants to hit it on the thick side and let it the cue ball come to the bottom rail, right? And the 6 come up somewhere where at least Marco's got to make a bank or something like that. Like here, see how it's getting to the side rail, trying to anyways. I mean, it didn't work out, but like a half ball hit on either side is what he was.
Speed.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what kicking is speed is what really heightens your chances for good things to happen, not so much certain hits on the ball, because you can't determine what kind of hit you're always going to get on the ball when you're, what do you go there, some 15 feet up and down the table kicking at that ball?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
He's going to draw into the 7. Doesn't want to hit it thin, but he certainly doesn't want to make it.
Well, he got everything he could out of that shot.
Yeah, and he had to take a little bit of a chance, because you don't want to go into the 7 thin where the cue ball's running somewhere. And I'll tell you, a lot of pressure on this next break shot. I know it's early, and we've seen a lot of early leads disappear. But this one race final, race to 11, and Marco playing solid, that I think Dennis has got to get it going here.
There was a good look of those Cyclop Hyperion balls. The little stop sign on them. Outline of the number.
Okay, it looks like Dennis is going to take a timeout. And we will too. We'll be right back.
Yeah, quarter after 9:30. Yeah, we have to completely set up tomorrow, so.
And we are back. Dennis to break the balls.
So is RoboCop, and it has an agenda in front of him, trailing 4-1.
It's not a position he's real familiar with.
Well, not this week, huh?
No.
That throws a little bit on the high part of the cue ball. He needs a kiss, and he got it.
He got it.
Now he's going to have to come with one now. Now this is a real important part of improving. recognizing, let me just get to the side pocket here, okay? That makes it to where I need to come back down for the 4 anyway, and it sure makes the look on the 1 a lot easier than trying to move all the way back down. See, he was trying to get a lot on the ball, and consequently it offered a miss hit. And look, he's pretty flat on the 2 as well. So you realize that really the side pocket area is the place you want to get. Well, that makes the 1 ball a lot easier shot.
That's great advice. I mean, that's actually recognizing that is really important, because most players they want to get down there close and they want just a little bit of an angle. Well, the side pocket provides a steep angle, the natural angle to come back up table for the 4.
And that's a natural thing to want to think that way. But the main part about is when you're faced with a difficult shot like you are on the 1.
10. Look at this shot. Oh, I thought he was going to get right up against the 10.
I thought he was going to get there too when he first hit it.
When
but
that ball first came out.
Like I said, the main thing is recognizing the 1's difficult. So simplify the 1. It worked out that way. You did want to get there for the side for the 2 to come back up. But a lot of times, that's kind of the place you want to get no matter where you're going next with the cue ball, because you make the 1 so much easier. Now, Dennis needs to don't think this bank is such a hanger, especially having to draw the ball. Okay, I like it.
Oh, look at this.
Kind of
pulled. He didn't get there.
Pulled on the reins a little bit.
All of a sudden, it looks like this table's slowing down.
Maybe. If he offered the left piece of the 1 now, Marco's got a nice play here coming around the table, especially with all the congestion up there near the 1 and the 2 all the way back down table.
Well, he's 9 feet away from it, so.
Well, it hasn't slowed the young man down too much this week, I'll tell you.
He's also against the rail. Just making things harder for you to explain, Jeremy.
Well, it's a difficult hit.
Yeah, it's a difficult hit.
But he does have some things working for him, so don't try to get too cute hitting it thin and you air the ball. The people have done that before. Oh, I got to hit it as thin as possible. You got things working for you here. Go towards the 5, 2 rails and just take your chances. See, and that's what happens a lot of times. He's trying to contain the 1 too perfectly into the 4, and he's got to realize, man, there's a lot of things that it didn't require a perfect hit. Is basically what I'm saying.
No, I think this is really smart of Dennis to sit there and play this combo to get rid of the 4 so he doesn't have to come back from the 2.
Yeah, and he wants an angle on the 1, but don't get too thin on the 1 with the 8 being there. You want to probably be able to draw down the table. You don't have much space to go to the rail between the 8 and 9 from the angle he's going to have. Okay, so he stayed above it. That's a real smart play. He could have let the 1 come up and you go underneath it. You stay on the rail with it and you kind of draw up the table, but what he's worried about here is I'm coming 2 rails right towards that corner if I draw this ball from this angle. And if I really try to get a lot on it, I might end up behind the 5. And he can't quite go forward straight down the table without hitting like a center ball, right? To go in between the 6 and the 8, straight down towards the 5.
Yeah, he's got to come back.
Yeah, he's got to thread the needle a little bit here.
I think you draw this ball.
Yeah.
Draw 2 rails into the 5.
I think so too, but I still think he's a little worried that it's going towards the corner, or if he tries to get a lot on it, okay, he's going to maybe be fortunate enough to see the 2 here.
He caught a piece of the ball there. Well, he'll be fine. He's going to find Marco's going to find himself behind the 5.
Yeah, he could chip the 2 and run it though with the 8 and the 5 and all that being there in the 9. But I think from here you take advantage of putting him up behind that 5 ball. I think. And I think the 2 ball doesn't get away from you either.
No, it
just goes past the 10
just past the side. It'll go just past the side and hit the rail.
It's a soft spinner, yeah, I like that.
Oh, he did it real okay.
Yeah.
That's even better.
More of like a 1-pocket shot.
Yeah,
you just kind of lay
better.
across it with a heavy spin and you keep control of everything. And now he's got congestion both ways, meaning there's the 6 and the 9 and the 8 up table. There's the 10 and the 4, the 10 and the 5 and the 7 down here. So whichever way you feel the best about hitting this ball, He's going to go 2 rails.
Yeah, diamond above the side pocket.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Right
Maybe in
there.
between the middle and the third diamond near the side. Yeah. And the cue ball can go right towards the 5. Oh, he overdid it. Doesn't miss many of them.
No, that's one of the few kicks that he's that have been open like that.
Yeah,
that
I
he's
would have
missed.
liked to bet on him to hit it. That's for sure. Would have been another one of those Las Vegas bad beat stories. But, but if you've heard one, you've heard them all.
I haven't had any bad beat Las Vegas stories because I haven't
Ever?
done any gambling. Oh,
Ever?
no. Well, no.
Oh, okay. Say, dang.
The last 3
I
times.
didn't think you were allowed in the city limits if you had
If you don't have some
at
kind of
least
gamble.
one bad beat story. Now he's paying attention to this because of that 7 ball that's right in the center of the table. And man, it's amazing how a ball in the center of the table can really cause a lot of little problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this. Keep it simple. Probably stay above the side pocket here. Just chip this in, go in between the 10 and the 7 with the cue ball. Oh, he got he got on the other side of the side. Okay. Nice shot.
2 rails for the 7, just like that.
Now Dennis is going to be 4-2 with Mr. Marco Teutscher breaking off in game number 6.
Well, keep in mind as he runs these 2 balls out to get to that 4-2 with his extension. Keep in mind we start the 8 ball at noon tomorrow.
Well, if you're in the area, I think does play start at 10 and then our
Play
stream
starts
starts
at
at
10.
noon.
Yeah, so
if
come
you
on
wanna,
in.
Yeah. I know there's plenty of 8-ball players in town. So if you want to see some of the best, Shane Van Boning, arguably one of the best 8-ball players. Darren Appleton, of course.
Skyler plays
he
it very
plays it
well.
great.
Gosh,
Yeah. There's going to be just like this 10-ball event, something special to watch.
I believe if you check Facebook pretty soon, they're going to be posting the matches that we'll have for you tomorrow.
And we got a players meeting tonight.
But the draw's been done. And I have the very first 2 matches right here in front of me, but I can't give them out to you. I'm going to tease you guys to stick around.
You can't even tell me?
I can show you. It's written down.
No, I might leak the information. I just soon just find out tomorrow at noon.
Here we go. Marco Teutscher. 4-2 over Dennis Orcollo.
And again, man, I just see Eric Horlifson right there breaking the balls. If any Canadians out there and Horlifson fans
there's the
know what I'm
rail.
talking about.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a nice shot on the 1. A little thin, but he's just got to command the speed of the cue ball for the 3 in the side. And it's a little tricky with the 9 and the 7 being there, but he's looking at that gap. What if I go right back and forth and I fall in that gap in between the 7 and 9, somewhat in the area of where the 1's at now? That's a hard one to depend on. But that's what he's shooting for. He's going 2 rails, maybe catch the 3rd rail. Now it requires a perfect hit. If you don't have the right hit, you lose the line of the cue ball and the speed.
That window. Is he? Oh, it looks like he's going to have to be.
That one kind of stopped on him again, right?
Yeah.
It seems like
it seems like the table's checking up a little bit. Maybe the
constant play all
constant
day.
play, the number of people in here around the table. Everybody got close around the table once we moved all the matches.
And it's not a ton,
table.
but it's just been 3 or 4 shots where I think there's going to be another full revolution, and it just kind of fools us, huh?
Yeah, I
George?
mean, there's
He must be able to get at this, though. He doesn't seem very upset about it.
Yeah. There's 40 people over here real close to the table on the breaking side. He got there.
Well, the way the young man's playing, Dennis is going to have to not only take care of business on his break, but he's going to probably have to kick out of a safety or something, make a jump shot, something to get this break a serve back, you might call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you know, that was a little thin, so that could cause a problem, and I just kind of jinxed the young man, didn't I?
Might kind of get away from him there. Well, it was a little thin, but he also hit it, pretty hard. He got some good spin off of it.
And there was another one of those shots that you could have just come one rail up into that big old middle of the table area and not be on a line to get hooked on. But
all right. Well, your opening matches at 12 on the live stream tomorrow.
Hold on now. You got the thumbs up?
I got the thumbs up.
Oh, okay. I didn't want you to get in trouble there, George.
I get enough trouble already. Is James Aranas and Billy Thorpe.
Okay.
Now, your 2 p.m. match will be Darren Appleton and Tyler Steyer.
Well, the way Tyler breaks the balls, I'm sure his 8-ball game is pretty solid. I would imagine solid is one of the words anyways, but if you want to see, in my opinion, one of the greatest to get through 8-ball racks that I've ever seen, Darren Appleton. Okay, don't do anything silly here. Just go ahead and draw your ball. You can use the part of the pocket that you want, meaning to hold the line on the cue ball. He's going forward around the 10. Okay, so speed's got to be nice here.
Oh, he crossed the line. I thought he was going to play it in the right-hand side corner pocket, and he went all the way up for the left-hand side corner pocket.
The angle was a little flat to maybe. He could get real close to it if he was going to shoot it in the upper right. So if he was going to go forward, I agree with that, but I still thought he might just draw straight back to the rail and kind of have the same corner pocket. And that way, once you hit the rail, you're on that line you were talking about, George.
Yeah, it was tight out of the corners, so made sense to go to that side.
But I'll tell you, he really hasn't. Of course, snookered himself this game and recovered with a jump shot, and a little fortunate to carry position onto the 6, but.
You go ahead and play position for the side on this 9-ball?
No, not this one.
No, not this one?
Once it starts getting a diamond past that side pocket, I tend to stay away from it unless I'm really forcing things, you know. But, yeah, if it gets a diamond past there, and you know, if it's a diamond and only a diamond away from the side, it's different.
Okay.
You know? But when it gets out towards the middle and you're what is that, a diamond and a half down from the side pocket, a pretty good policy is trying to stay away from that moving into position on that one. Well, Dennis, like I said, as soon as I said that, the young man snookered himself, but he got through it and got through the rack. But I think Dennis is not only going to have to really do what he needs to do when it's his turn to break the balls, but he's going to have to kick out of something, jump out of something. Kind of getting at is I don't see a big mistake happening, a big miss from Marco.
Yeah, for Dennis to make up 2 breaks.
Right. Well, it's only one, I think, right? Because he broke first. Yeah.
Dennis will be breaking here, so fight this only one.
Yeah, only one. But it's kind of like tennis when they get that 4-1 lead, but they only have one. They're only ahead 1 service break. It just depends on who breaks first.
Well, if there's someone that can come back from here under these conditions with his opponent playing as strong as he is, it's this man right here about to break the balls, Dennis Orcollo. AKA RoboCop.
And he's had a couple different hits on the break, meaning yesterday we saw him break. Man, the cue ball was really nice in the center. Good pop every time. Not any overspin on the cue ball, really. Today he's had a couple that weren't just ideal, but that was better. That was better. And better for, okay, the 8 squeezed by the 7 there in the side pocket. But he's got some work. He's got a nice starter on the 1-2, but you can see he's got to get pretty full on the 4 to hold for the 5. So not saying it's not very doable. He'll draw back for an angle to come back 2 rails off the 3 to the 4. But got to stay in line, George.
Mm-hmm. So I put this in the middle of the table, right about there. Yeah, he might have crossed a little bit.
Yeah. But he'll just let us stroke out a hair more, come a little closer to that side pocket that is across the table. Watch out. Watch out. Okay. Couple things could have happened there. If he gets dead jacked up over the 4, that's one of them. And now this still could be going away from him. He wants the cue ball cleaned, I believe. And I don't blame him. This is a prime type of skid shot, hitting it slowly.
The white glove treatment.
And Dennis knew right when he hit it that there was could have been a problem. The main was getting elevated over the 5. So nice that he got away from the 5 ball there.
And you know that's good thinking to have the cue ball clean on a shot like that. That's not something you normally think of.
Yeah. Well, that slow one coming across the ball like that really tends to.
They grab if it's if there's something there.
Yeah, especially when they're close to each other.
Yeah.
If you have a little more room to get the cue ball revolving a little more, it helps that. But when they're just a foot apart or less.
They'll come right past this side pocket. And this will close it up.
Dennis, an amazing player and so talented in the finals of the U.S. Open 10 ball here. And sometimes looks like he's practicing a little bit. Very carefree at times.
Mm-hmm. Might have been that mistake that he made on that straight in shot.
The 2 ball?
Yeah, that 2 ball that
he broke and made 4 or 5 on the break and missed a pretty nice opener.
Well, you know, in looking at things, you see Marco in the background there as John racks the balls. John Lehman racks the balls. He looks relaxed. He's settling in, looking a little more relaxed.
As much as anybody in the field, we had some young ones. Lou from Chinese Taipei, Matkinen from Finland, another young player. One other one that's, well, of course, several, but I mean, James Aronis is young, but he's a player that's already very established the last few years. But Marco's gaining more for his game than anybody in this event. I think not only getting to play more matches, reaching a big final, whether he wins or loses, those are all things that are boding well for his game and the future.
And the quality opponents he's playing.
Right. Yeah. Just the whole package of experience, along with performing while experiencing. It's one thing if you get the experience and you just played rough. You know, my first pro final, I was almost so happy to make it to a final that I forgot what I was really doing, and therefore, Earl Strickland robbed me in the final. But, you know, he's performing well, so
sure.
And in this moment, so he can reflect on a lot of good things. And not just after this tournament, from game to game.
No, and he stayed steady. Under all the circumstances, he stayed very steady. He's had a couple of, I guess, instances where he didn't perform well or he made a mistake, and he recovers from that, no problem. It doesn't stay with him.
Boy, he made a nice shot there and got a lovely kiss on the 6, right into position to where he can draw for the 3. Even though he's jacked up, he doesn't have to draw much. He wants to come back for the 4 anyways. So, again, don't make the 2 harder. Exactly.
There.
Don't make this 2 any harder. You're trying to gain just what is percentage points better position on the 3. Now, another key is when you settle to just stop your ball here, George, is don't hit a cinch stroke. You've made a cinch decision, but still make a nice, still fluid, full stroke. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does.
Nothing wrong with making a very simple decision and making things easy on yourself that way, but still go ahead and perform. Nice
like
shot.
he just did
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't try to baby
Stroked
it.
through it and then picked up the cue and said, "Ha, got there."
Right. And so when you learn about pool, a lot of how you look at shots means a lot, not just what you're doing with the shot. But maybe a good way to stay confident while you're making the balls.
Touch of inside here. Now he's going to draw around.
No, I think
Nice.
either way, straight inside or a hair of outside, he goes around,
around
the
the
8.
eight,
Yeah.
He went around.
It's just a matter if he wanted to go to that 3rd rail or not. I kind of like that myself. This is what I'm getting at. He had to play a rail first shot. He had to play it with light speed. Didn't take much time. I just think he's going to do what's needed if given the opportunity to keep running out when it's his break.
Yeah, and he's doing it much faster, at a faster pace than he has been all tournament.
Well, and I didn't think really it would hurt him. I thought a couple times there were some last-minute decisions that came in some earlier matches that he went with that did hurt him. We saw a big time where he got snookered in a spot against Skyler, and he was fortunate enough to come back and get that match, but it could have cost him.
Just not to come off the rail just a little.
Yeah, and the young man's making a name for himself, I'll tell you.
You know, what's funny is I walked out at the last break, and I normally don't ever, think one player's going to win, the other one's going to win. I keep it open. But my wife and her sister are sitting there watching the match, and my sister-in-law says, "Well, we made a bet on who's going to win this match." And I, said, and I just said, "Well, who do you like?" And she liked Marco.
Who liked Marco, the wife or the sister?
No, the sister.
Oh, okay,
my
so
wife,
the wife.
my wife has seen Dennis before, and she
Okay.
says, "Well, you're in trouble because Dennis is the best around." So
I wonder how that went down. I wonder if your wife is savvy as she probably is, or a little more savvy than the sister about pool. She's like, well, I'll take Dennis if I got to.
She likes to watch. she likes to watch. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll let
if
you
you make
choose,
me,
Well, at this point,
At this
the
point,
sister's
Sis is
got
a
the best
genius,
of it.
yeah.
But no, I don't take sides here at all. But I thought that I'd relay that story, and
No,
I found
that's
it funny. And
yeah, for sure.
I hope the viewers out there find it funny and don't think I'm just full of crap.
No, not at all.
But no, she likes to watch, and she'll go with tournaments with me. She'll watch me, watch some live streams sometimes.
Right.
She'll say, "Who's playing?" And I'm sitting there thinking, "Why are you asking?" And she genuinely likes it. Doesn't play.
Well, you can tell us that all you want, George, but she doesn't play.
Scotch doubles, anyone?
Okay, he's made the 1. He's got a shot on the 2. Pretty nice starter, so RoboCop should match the run out here in the last rack by Marco. Just 2 rails to the center, somewhere where he's at now. Okay, kind of squeaked that one down a little bit.
Dennis says, I may be trailing, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to do what I have to do.
Okay, a couple of them didn't go in so cleanly though. So
Yeah, that last one.
yeah, now he's got to come off the 8 unless he wants to shoot the 7 in the corner, which I wouldn't doubt. If he shoots it in the corner, he'll probably shoot the 8 in the corner. But does the 9 pass the 10? Now that does make concern. If you shoot the 7 in the corner here, pretty important if the 9 passes the 10 or not, because you need an angle to get over for the 9, and it doesn't. So
he's got it.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought of something. I wonder if the girls, if my wife and her sister know this is a race to 11, not 9. That does make a difference.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there were any games on the wire involved, right? So.
No.
Okay.
I don't think my wife has progressed to that stage. I'll give you 2 games on the wire.
Right.
Okay, viewers, I'll let it go from there.
Old sis might get hooked, huh? She might like that.
Come on and watch it.
Yeah.
Well, they watched the match last night, and they were.
Now, did she come with you, or she live here, or?
No, she came to visit. She lives in Colorado Springs, and
Oh,
she
okay.
came out here to just hang out. So
There you
so
go.
that they have something to do while I'm in
Yeah.
here.
It's like my sister did
Yeah,
the same thing,
same thing.
during the last trip to Vegas to hang out with my wife.
Yep.
Okay, Marco had a little thought of something there, but if I was his caddy, I would say, man, don't change a thing. Just keep sticking to what you're doing.
Why can't we have caddies?
Well,
Pool players. You have caddy?
not enough room around the table, maybe. All right, hit them off a little bit. So breaking from the left, hit them on the right. Now the dry break and an opportunity for Dennis.
I wouldn't put it past Dennis to go for this bank on the 1.
Well, if he had position, I guarantee he probably would. But
there's no position.
yeah,
that's
he's
the
just.
only
I
problem.
mean, maybe position if you get through there somehow. But I think he's just got to lay the 1 on the side rail, near where the 1's at now, and bring the cue ball behind the 3. You got the 3, the 10, the 4. You got a lot of good things that can happen for you there. Yeah, just kind of like that.
That's a high percentage safety.
Yeah. Now Marco may jump at the bottom of this one and may kick long rail at it, actually. It's got a few options.
It looks like it goes by. It's tricky to get from the head rail to the 1, though, with the 5 there. It goes by it. Looks to. Jump cue. Is he jumping 2? He's jumping 2 balls, or he's called?
I
it
think
on the
he's
side?
got the bottom of the 1.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
And, you know, he's calling it cross side, but I think mainly he's trying to get the 1 opened up, going upward a little bit, and the cue ball coming down behind the 3, or you know, just something good happening. And if it goes in, you never know, he may get some kind of long distance cut shot at the 2. We shall see, that's for sure. Okay,
is this going to pay dividends?
This is going to work out nicely.
It did.
And not just a little nicely. This is not an easy hit at all. The kick shot in between the 3-4 isn't easy. I think he's cut off the 2 railer with the 3 there and the 2 in the way of the 2 rails. I'm not sure how he's going to hit this.
Can you go to the head rail with some left English and
yeah,
kick it
I mean
into
there is some room there, but you don't have the entire 1.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, if you go the top rail, the right side of the 1's cut off. You're only coming from underneath and hitting the bottom or somewhat full on it, which isn't horrible, but not much room for error as far as hitting the 1.
And what about 2 rails off the bottom rail and the side rail over to his left?
Yeah. Going by the 5, you mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Going right by the 5.
Kind of kicking near this chalk a little bit, kind of.
Yep.
Okay, he's looking at even just, he's trying to put the 3 on the 9. That's how bad this is. I mean, from nowhere, this just got really, really bad spot. I'm trying to think at what I might tie up if I was going to tie something up. I think that's what he's doing. He's throwing the 3 back on the 9. I think. Yeah, way too hard. That's going to open up. So and he was just in a bad spot. I mean, now Marco needs to pay very much attention from this 1 to the 2 to the 3. After that, pretty easy rack, but you'd like to figure out how to get to the back side of this 3, or can I draw up underneath somehow when the 1's gone? That's, yeah, he's okay. Because once he shoots this, the 1 will be gone. There's plenty of room to draw 1 rail in between the 7 and the 6-8. So, should be fine. Just go ahead and get nice and close to this 2 with the angle, and then you'll, like I said, just draw 1 rail between the 7 and the 6-8.
And he's got the perfect angle to do that.
Okay, doesn't want straight here.
And he's going to have to go forward. He's going to have to go forward.
He's fine. He's okay. Yeah, he's actually got plenty of angle. He can go forward about the middle diamond and get straight in on the 4, actually. Yeah, just around right. He could punch 1 rail over for the straight in and get a little closer. It's just a lot of times.
It changes the speed, and you can't measure it as well because you're coming across the line.
Right. Yeah. But that's, you know, he'll take that execution, like do a little more execution to get a little better a lot of times, Marco will. And got to realize that just a little further distance away, man, this is so easy. Meaning when the nerves are going, you don't want to have to go quick with the cue too much. or you're going to have to do it, I'm saying, but when you don't have to do it, you stay away from it.
I think he's settled in. I think his nerves are not an issue right now. It'll change throughout the course of the match.
He kind of did both and almost got over that 10 ball doing it. He punched it and went forward a hair.
The one thing he didn't do is float it. And they hand these guys one of those tools. You've seen those cross tools. I forget what they're called.
That Simonis makes?
The Simonis makes, yeah.
I have one.
To do the table. I have one and I never used it. I
forgot. Oh, it works well.
I have it.
It works well to clean the table. Uh-oh.
Is he behind the 8? Yes, he is.
He's stuck. He is stuck.
Yes, he is. That's one of the few errors that we've seen so far this match.
And that comes a little bit from the prior shot on the 3. Getting to the 4, he punched across, wanting to stay a little closer to the 4, and got a little angle on it, and still should have been able to hold the cue ball. I thought he actually hit it plenty nice enough to hold it, but now is in trouble.
And this is his break, so it's a big one to give up. Dennis can win this, and all of a sudden we'll be tied if he breaks and runs out.
Oh, we'll definitely be on serve if Dennis wins this game at 6-5. But I'll tell you, he hooked himself a minute ago and made a jump shot and came away with it. I wouldn't doubt if he made the curve shot here. The problem with the curve shot is playing all ball fouls. So when you're hitting on the right side of that ball, the cue is going to want to go to the right off the side of that cue ball. So got to be very aware of that. Easy to foul on this type of shot. Like I said, though, I wouldn't doubt if he makes it. Yeah. Just seems like how this Saturday afternoon and evening is going right now, and it's almost like he deserves it because he's.
Well, he's played up to it. I mean,
he's putting forth a lot of effort.
He's putting the effort, the attention, the focus. He's not taking things for granted. You haven't seen him be lackadaisical at any time through any of the matches he's played.
Yeah, another tough one here. I like him not just dropping down on it after making a big shot on the 5. I like him taking a hair extra time here.
He can't decide whether he wants to follow this ball or bring it back.
I like him elevating here,
Yeah.
actually. It doesn't take much to get it moving. There's enough angle, and he's not following the ball right on top. You know, there's so much room there to the left. So.
Nicely done, and just slide over for the 10 ball.
Okay, so twice he's hooked himself on some runs. He jumped out of one of them, and then one heck of a masse on the second one. Now 7-4. I love a crowd that recognizes some fantastic pool.
You know, they do get some good crowds here, especially right about this time for any of the finals. It looks just like this at Griff's, and they're very respectful of the players. It's a good environment to play in. Keep in mind, we start the 8-ball U.S. Open Championships. Tomorrow at noon we'll be live streaming. Play starts at 10, but we'll get started at noon with the live stream, and your first match on the live stream will be James Aranas and Billy Thorpe. The 2 p.m. match will be Darren Appleton and Tyler Steyer. Make note, make plans, be here. Join us, join Jeremy and I here in the booth on your computers, or come on down to Griff's. If you're in the area, you should be here.
Almost all the players now in the building here, getting ready, not only watching some of this final, getting ready some more practice for tomorrow's 8-ball event. He hit those great. Some more practice for the 8-ball event. Then a little players meeting later on. Well, Dennis in another position to match Marco's run. He's got a shot on the 2. Offers easy position on the 3. It's just getting back for that 4, really. I mean, as far as like things that look a little bit alarming.
This cue ball is probably going to be crossing where the cue ball is now.
Yeah, not much to worry about with the 5 over the pocket. Even straight in on the 4 he could handle. 6 very similar over the side pocket. Probably play 2 rails for the side here, or maybe just 1 rail.
It just comes in so much nicer when you use that second rail. I just love using that second rail to check the cue ball, the speed,
Right.
fall in just the right place.
Well, it's that reference. That first rail is a reference, and then once you get that second rail as a reference, it just dials you in a little bit more. You would.
Dennis closing in on the prize there, and the prize is 11. His opponent was 2 games ahead. He's now 1 game ahead, but
No, he's 2 games ahead, 7-5. He was 3 games ahead at 7-4. Now it's 7-5.
oh wow. Where did I go wrong? I had calculated him to be
Long
even
3
if he breaks
days
and
for you,
runs.
George.
Yeah, if he breaks and runs here, I thought they'd be tied.
No, Marco won the lag.
That's why I have Jeremy to keep me straight here.
Oh, I'm on it.
So if he breaks and runs here, he's a breakdown.
Say it again.
If he breaks and runs here, he'll be at 6. He'll be a breakdown.
Oh, no, it's Marco's break. Marco won the lag. So it's 7-5 Marco. And
So now I'm very confused.
yeah, he's a breakdown, Dennis is.
Right now,
he needs
yeah.
to win,
Okay.
win one of Marco's
breaks,
and
okay.
then
Gotcha.
capitalize on his own break to tie the match, whether that be now or a game or 2 from now. I hit him across again. Hit him across the wrong side of it again. Now, is the 3 going to help him?
Nope.
Nope.
And
Okay,
he's
so
left
there
an
you
open
go.
shot on the 1.
Dennis has got a little smile there, and I'm not sure exactly what the humor is, but
Maybe he's thinking to himself, I'm back.
I hit that great. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh is right.
Ouch.
That's what a little bit of that playing at a fast pace will occasionally get you. You know, if you figure if he takes his time on that shot, he knows how much room he's got left of the 9. There's never really a chance that he's going to get behind the 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's got a good foot there to come across, and he was perfect on the 2. So
That might have been what that smile was. You know, it's like maybe took it for granted. Just a guess.
kiss? No.
No, I said just a guess.
No, I was saying if he was going to get a
okay.
kiss on this
No
this
kiss.
3 ball here.
He's left the long straight in.
This right here, this shot on the 3 could really almost be the tournament. These guys are breaking run at a high rate right now the last several games.
Mm-hmm.
If he's to get this 3 down and get on out here 8-5 and breaking. Oh no, Dennis will be breaking. Excuse me, that's right. Marco broke dry there.
He's taking his time on this shot, and deservedly so. This is it's a big shot right here.
Yeah, and I think just laying underneath the 4 is okay. I don't think moving back and forth is really worth it. Maybe it is. He hit it thick. He's going to get no, he made the 9, so that's not going to be a good thing no matter what. It's going to be Dennis's option. And Dennis is toying with him a little bit.
No, I'm not shooting that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Little swerve, maybe?
I don't know.
Swerve
It's
it to the rail and come up for the 3? Or is he?
You mean the kick shot?
Yeah, the kick shot.
Yeah, I don't think he has to even swerve. I think
Just
he can get by
spin
the
it?
4
Yeah.
with just spin. And I'll tell you, I make not kick that hard at it, really. I mean, if I get underneath it, I might kick it over here on the rail by the 6. If I hit it thick, I might hit it up near the 6 and you know, kind of survive another shot here.
Well, you know, he might get that jump cue.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And draw the ball right behind the 6.
Maybe. Or even clip the left side of the 3 and let the cue ball run.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of good things that can happen that way as well. I like that. A lot of good things that can happen, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of caught it coming in and out, but just barely shaved the 3 coming in and then got underneath it and kicked it back up.
A lot of separation here. Now, does Dennis try to go right back up to where he is now?
I think he's got to.
Yeah. Right behind that 6 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just pointed it out.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I don't know if he can for sure get the 3 underneath the 8 or not. It might catch the 5 and stay over the pocket. So the cue balls may be very essential here as far as getting it in the right place. See like that? See where the 3 hit the 5?
Well, that better not get there because, I guess it is. It's opening up a little bit.
Yeah,
it's going right for the pocket first.
It's not going to like that, though.
No. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not easy either. What he's looking at, hitting the right, what is his right side of the 3 and not hitting the 10 and still getting enough right English and enough dive on the cue ball to send it back to where it's at now. The thing is, I think the 3 is going to overcut and open up anyways, right? It's not going to go into the 5.
He's going to cut it real thin, I think.
Yeah, the 3's not going to go into the 5 unless he mishits it. So he's got to bury the cue ball or he doesn't get anything out of the shot, really. Wow, and he's elevated him a little bit as well.
Kick shot off the bottom rail or a 2-rail kick, huh?
Definitely off the bottom, I think. I think you have some good things that'll happen. Could happen. Could get him underneath the 8, just like a medium high ball, just medium speed. 3 hits before the side. Cue ball goes kind of behind the 8, maybe.
Well, not quite.
Well, he may have cut off the top right corner anyways. Now, do you go with a high ball and go to the rail and spin him up underneath that 6? If you're a one-pocket player, it's a pretty easy shot.
One pocket player or not, anytime you're traveling the cue ball directly at the corner pocket, you don't like it. It's just you train yourself to never do that.
Well, you would hit the top rail though.
Sure, you're going for the top rail.
Yeah, you're going to hit a half a diamond probably from the corner or something like that because you got a lot of right spin putting on there. So. No, the young man wants to shoot.
Take a look at that again. Wow. I think he's going to go for it. I think he's going to go for the 3 ball.
Yeah.
I think if he draws this ball, he checks it underneath the 6. But it might go over to that corner pocket. Race to 11. This is the finals.
He's trying to hit the side rail and go the in rail, kind of like a stun shot like that. Yeah, what a great
shot.
hit. Yeah.
What a shot. Big shot there. And as you said before, those are the kind of shots that can win you tournaments.
Absolutely. Definitely difference makers usually.
And it gets your opponent's attention, too.
Oh, yeah. Another big one here, swinging the cue ball 3 rails back towards the 5. Might follow it, I don't know. He can go by the 8. Okay, nice shot, and nice to notice he could go in between that 8 naturally, 8 and the 7.
Big shot. Big shot on that 3. Came with a big shot on the 4, too.
Yeah, don't let up on the stroke. I've seen people let up on it trying to go by the 8, and you catch just a piece of the 8, knock it to the rail, and you end up kind of on top of it. Go ahead and draw wide of it. Make sure, unless you're just going to dink this in like that. Nothing wrong with that either.
Eight to 5.
Yeah, and another break, another game that Dennis Orcollo will be breaking, but with a lot of pressure on his shoulders here, and he's answered. This has been, that wasn't a break and run, obviously, but Marco had 3 or 4 in a row where just to keep up and stay in this match, Dennis had to answer right behind him, and he did so. We'll see if he can do it here in what's going to be game number 14 in this race to 11.
Well, Dennis with a good opportunity to get 7-6.
Yeah.
And he didn't come over for that 3 ball, got
Right,
stuck. Yeah,
right.
that was big. That was real big right there.
Yeah.
Good view of the wall there all the way along Griff's. Comfortable seating for the players. Behind the table there that's covered up are spectators. All the way across there. A bleacher to the left of the table, kind of where Dennis's arm is. He's stroking the ball off to the left there.
Okay, hit a pretty
cue ball got hit towards the pocket and then away from the pocket.
And here's that answer, staring you straight in the face, Dennis. And that's all he can do from here is just keep trying to answer and see if he gets another opening. But he can't afford of a simple error again like he did on that getting snookered from the 2 to the 3.
I think from here on out, nothing's going to be simple for Dennis.
Well, this one ain't bad, though.
He still has to execute it.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying as far as the starter and stuff.
The starter, sure.
No, there's definitely pressure. He knows any mistake can be pretty much curtains.
Well, I think at this point, Dennis knows that he can't afford a mistake and still have a realistic chance of winning.
Yeah.
because this young man's not letting up. He's coming with the shots when he has to. He's coming with the safeties when he has to. He's not folding. He's not making this job easy. He's not intimidating.
Lots of Orcollo fans in the building.
Well, Marco needs 3. Dennis needs 5. My 3rd grade arithmetic still works. As do John's racking skills. Shane's hopes of 4 in a row were shattered by this young man right here, about to break the balls.
Thought about that earlier. Who else did Shane lose to fairly early? I'll think of it in a second. DeLuna, I think, maybe. No.
Yes.
No, DeLuna, he lost second. He lost today to DeLuna. He lost to Marco initially on the winner's side. That's what was making it elude.
This young man sent Shane into the one-loss side.
At the far side of it again, and that's not going to be what you want.
Yeah,
he's giving a look at the 1. So.
Well, he's not going to have an offensive look at the 1. Now, can he come off the left side of the 1 and go behind the 3? Looks like he has the room for it.
I'd try to put him behind the 9, I think. Spinning off, going through the 1 a little bit and let it bank beyond the 5. And
I looked at that first, but it looks like he has to hit the 1 ball where it might run into the 5.
Yeah.
So that's why I looked for something different, since I don't like where the 1 ball is going to end up.
Well, that's pretty good safety there. Now he may leave him a piece, but it's
a
still
piece. Yeah, window.
Still pretty good.
A little window between the 2-7.
Well, I don't know if he has it at all. Maybe. I'll tell you, the way the 7 and 2 are sitting, he can kick at this from underneath off this bottom cushion and like a medium speed and take a real good chance at snookering him the way the ball will come off.
Yeah, finding cover behind the 2-7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And another thing about the shot is you could knock the 1 down there past the side to where he's got to shoot some type of off-angle combination on the 1-9 if he does get a shot. It does not have to open up. See, exactly. That's what I'd look for here. Kick it. You'd be real hard pressed not to get a rail. I mean, if you come underneath it and don't get a rail, that's pretty hard luck. But yeah, I would definitely try to keep the cue ball behind the 2-7, and again, if you do leave a little bit of a shot, it may be a combination on the 1-9. And I don't think it lays any better, meaning the angle that the cue ball is going to come in at the 1 is pretty premium for this type of shot, meaning kicking safe. You could run into the 7 and use the 2. Okay. This is going to work
get
out.
Behind the 4 ball.
Yep. And nope. I think it gave him a shot.
Especially by that little wave of the arms that Marco gave us. Just kind of swung over and said, "Oh no." Well, Dennis back at the table here. And if he can make quick work of this in the next rack, now he gets right.
Yeah. Just stay off the rail with the cue ball here. That's the main thing. And not a whole lot of worries for Dennis. He usually can figure out some way to get through the rack as long as he's got the entire cue ball to work with. And
wants the cue ball a little to the right of where he is now. Basically just come off the head rail and come straight in line for the 7 ball with the cue ball. For position on the 6. Lays pretty nice for that.
is he coming all the way down here?
I don't think so. I think he's going to come straight in line for the 7, right about there, and now he's straight in for the 6.
There you go.
Yep.
Ooh. Ooh.
Did he almost miss that ball?
Yeah. Is that going to be on the? Okay, he's nice.
He's okay. He's going to come off. That's the first time since the score was 4-1 that a player won 2 games in a row. And we're taking a break. And we're back, folks. Both players back in the arena here around this table. One ready to break, one ready to step out of his chair.
And hats off to both these guys. It's been a pleasure watching this final. There's been maybe 1 or 2 mistakes total, not much at all. All right, hit him off a little bit. Got a nice kiss on the 1, though, that got that down in the corner. And I think the 2 might have hit flush on the 5 and offered him a shot.
Gave him a shot, sure did.
And again, what a nice rack. He's just got to kind of probably punch 2 rails around this 8. 4's hanging over the side, so really just nice position on the 3, nothing special.
Wow, this looks awfully tidy here.
Yeah, nothing wrong with playing the 5 in the side if that's what looks like it's going to be the easiest way to play things, meaning the 3, and then don't worry about it. You ain't got to come back for the 4. 4 to the 5 in the corner. You can easily just drop down. The 6-9 is really an easy shot to shoot from any kind of distance. I think the only way it can really go wrong is to try and play the 5 in the corner. Oh, well, the long corner's okay. But I meant, you know what I mean, drawn to the other side.
Trying to get up on top there. Trying to go all the way around the 5.
Right.
Yeah. No need. As long as the 6 ball doesn't follow in the 9, things are good here. I actually followed it and played shape.
Probably go to the rail, maybe forward for the 8 the side, but we'll see.
He hits that with that little English and that little pop shot. So nice. It just does exactly what he wants it to do.
And now we're going to get knotted at 8 games apiece with Marco Teutscher breaking off in game number 17.
And the fans appreciate the match as they tie it up at 8, as Jeremy just said. And now, let's see who flinches first, because we got this is a race to 3. Now, I don't know about you, Jeremy, but I've played a race to 3 where I played perfect and lost.
Oh, yeah.
My opponent said, lag better.
Okay, and I'm not sure that Marco is aware of why he's not making balls on the break all of a sudden. The last several, or 3 out of 4, he's broke from his left side and hit the right side of the 1. And Dennis did the same thing there, but the 1 got a nice kiss and got cut down the rail, or otherwise he would have had a dry break as well. So really hard, as well as he breaks the balls, if he just hits the side he's on or a flush hit on the 1, it's hard to think to me he's not going to make one. Okay, that's the flush hit I was talking about. The 2's going to get in the side, luckily, I think, but that was it. So, wow,
shot on the 1.
Kind of strange. And this is going to be a pretty one with high right, kind of wrapping around the 6-7, coming 2 rails all the way back down. I think he can do it with enough speed with just a high right ball. I don't think he has to draw it. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he's got to punch, come off the ball a little downward to hit that path I was talking about. But it looked like to me he could do it with a high ball and just hit a little thicker on the 1 with throw, which helps the cue ball anyways. We saw him shoot at a 2-10 combination in his last match that was
kind of a little off, yeah.
Yeah, I think a fairly low percentage. Now, I'll tell you what he could do. He could draw the cue ball kind of one rail and really get a lot of snatch on it, bringing it back for the 9. I mean, past the 9 for the 3. Yeah.
What about going between the 6, 7?
Well, that's what I was saying.
Wrapping around. Okay,
that's what I said initially. Yeah, I think you with a high ball, just high right, you can get past that 7 and in between the 6 and 7 and back around. I don't think you even have to really bounce off of the. I mean, kind of like direct it. I think it's kind of natural.
One thing about that, though, and I see that, and I kind of like it.
You catch the
but
7.
You catch the 7.
And you're scratching.
You're scratching. Because you're going to be going between them, and that means you can catch the bottom part of that 7 over here. And
right.
Let's see how he handles this. He's not doing too much to it, so well, he's missed the ball. He wrapped it around those 2. He's left them a long straight-in shot. Getting back on this 3 is
impossible.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trick shot. It's a prop bet. We do sometimes freeze the cue ball to the end rail and put the ball past the side and draw it back to the end rail. You know, you take so many shots at it, but here he's got uno shots at it. So I think he's going to have to play a very containing shot, maybe not even get the snooker, maybe hit the left side of the 1 and try and just drift towards the 7 with the cue ball. What else you going to do? I mean, try and use the 6 a little bit to cover the 1 up, maybe. I mean, you're in bad shape here.
He's in bad shape. Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, I think
T-O-U-G-H.
just hit the left side at a mild speed. Try and drift down. Maybe you hit on top of the 7, and the 6 helps you. Maybe get a little something. I mean, it just wasn't good. You know.
Yeah, it was tough. He went for try to leave him back there behind that 7 ball. It was just a tough shot. Rolling the ball. From 6-3 to 8-8.
Or even at 6-3, he was only 1 break behind.
Sure.
But still pretty impressive stuff. Is he kicking this?
I kind of, he's calling in the side, but he's actually kicking the 1 ball
that tells
beneath
me
the 8.
Yeah. But why doesn't he just bank it away 2 rails? Is it too hard to? I mean, you can throw the heck out of the ball here and just bank it away 2 rails down there, I think. And still, I mean, it's a good shot. I think he did real well. Yeah, he did. This is where you got to kick 2 rails and hope you call it. Maybe it goes by the 3 and maybe try and get some separation between the 1 and the cue ball.
And miss the 8 ball with the cue ball and maybe get behind those balls. But I doubt it.
Well, if he comes 2 rails, he'll be coming from the back, and it's actually kind of hard to hit the 8. You should get by those. Oh, wow, he hit it with speed, and he's going to get a little bit of a reward, I think, meaning it's hard for Marco to run out from here. Well, I don't know. If he cuts it in and hits the 3, can he do that? Can he throw it in and hit the 3 a little bit with the cue ball?
You mean to try to make it?
Yeah, throw the ball in with right English. And no?
I don't know.
He's calling the bank.
I actually like just coming off the right side of the 1, going 2 rails behind the 8 with the cue ball, because the 3 ball checks your ball right there. I like that 2 rail coming out of the corner, 2 rails.
Oh yeah.
I get to the other corner just about where I want to, so I like that. It's what I call one of my strengths.
Well, he's got about a half a pocket on this bank, it looks like. It's the kind of shot that where you're playing a 2-way, and if it hits off the 5 a hair, it shouldn't hurt you. It shouldn't kill you anyways. It shouldn't like give up the game.
Well, this is a good shot. I mean, he banks this in, he runs into the 3, or even holds it for straight in on the 3 to the right, and it's a big pocket. The table's still playing kind of generous.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I look at this, the more I like it.
caught the 5, and we'll see what the 1 does.
And you said something about catching the 5. It might help him, and it did.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it would hurt him too much. Now, kind of depends on how the ball's lay. Sometimes, even though a guy's 9 feet away from the object ball, if they lay right, the safety's not that hard. This one looks pretty tricky. Now, this is where Dennis's arsenal, you might say, or when you say arsenal, it sounds offensive, but craftiness can really, maybe he shoots off the 1 and spins into the 8 and tries to catch the 8 full and use the 10 as a little snooker or something like that. But recognizing the 3's all the way back down, try and figure out a way to keep him off of something simple and definitely off of position on the 3. Can't quite tell.
He doesn't like it.
No, I wouldn't either.
He's trying.
He could cut the 1 towards the 5 and 6, but then if he catches the 10, or 5 and 7 rather, if he catches the 10, he's in big trouble. I like trying to just spin into the 8 and use the 10 as a snooker
blocker, and that's what he's done.
Yeah, that's what I like, actually. Take a chance there.
Oh, and he got it. Looks like he's got it.
May have left him the
little
top
spin
of
shot.
it. Top of it, yeah.
Little jump shot.
He'll curve at this and just cut the 1 underneath the 5 and the 7, I think.
I think he might jump it. Jump it and play the 1-7
Play the combo.
Yeah. He's been really good with that jump cue.
Made one last night that was really impressive, and I'm not one that's easily impressed when it comes to the jump cue.
Is he playing the 1-5 combo?
Maybe.
You must be able to see a little bit of it, huh?
Oh, yeah, he
wow,
squeezed in the 1.
It, yeah.
Now he's going to think about a 1-5 combo unless this 1 goes.
I think it might go by.
Okay.
And the cue ball comes down for the 3. You'll be using a little bit of that left English to come all the way down.
He's going to need a friendly bump. He's going to get it.
Oh, boy. To think that could be the difference in this match.
Well, at 8-8,
you turns out, as it turns out.
Difference either way is both guys have played great.
Yes, yeah. He's played great to keep a lead or, to get ahead, and Dennis played great to catch up.
This is one he's got to pay attention to just because the 9's there. He wants to get angle on the 4 to naturally go towards the 5, but if you get a little thin, you're going into the 9. So this is one he could just go up and shoot the 4 in the upper right and get a little underneath angle on it. And this is the one I would have been a little worried about. I was going to say he could have gone forward with the cue ball, shot the 4 in the upper right, and then you just slide over to the left side of the table, and it's very easy.
Yeah.
Now, I think he should. Can he get the left side of the 9? Like if he throws this in with a little English, he can catch the left side of the 9, right?
He can catch the left side of the 9, but
and then just drift over for the 5.
It might send him behind the 10.
Well,
he's going to be softer.
Pretty soft speed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
I'd rather do that than draw for this going towards the 10 and the 8 myself.
You know what it looks like he's going to do? He's going to cut it in, catch the right side of the 9, go to the rail and out.
Ooh. I don't think
that's kind of what he looked at.
It's too thin to do that. I mean, it's too thick to do that. don't think you can get to the right side of the 9 without hitting it uber soft, like really soft.
See, that's what he seems
No,
to
I
be
think he's
looking
trying
at.
to get to the left side of it.
Okay.
I think. I mean, maybe not. Otherwise, he's just gonna. He'll still accidentally hit the left side of it without even knowing. Oh, well, he's shooting your shot like you were talking. Oh, no, he was
No, he
playing to
went
the
the other
left.
way.
He was
Okay.
playing to the left.
And behind the 10, yes, it
And
did.
curtains again.
It did.
And that's a little bit from that side pocket position on the 4. And not saying it wasn't the right play, but he should have maybe at least entertained shooting the 4 up in the corner.
Or getting better shape on the 5 to pull it away from the 9 and not have to use the 9.
Yeah. Unfortunate here to go all that distance through the 9 and end up on top. And I don't know. He's jumped one in. He's massaged one in. I think they were both on the 5 ball, ironically. And now I think he's got to look at a kick shot, a 2-rail kick shot at the 5. If he can even get by the 6, if the 10 doesn't have him, to where is the rail even available there?
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like, wow. I am leaning again.
Well, is the 5 going to bounce?
Awful
No,
nice
not enough.
try. But it's given Dennis an opportunity to steal a break.
Yeah, a big one.
And oh yeah, and especially in a race to 3.
Yeah, breaking next. Chance to get on the hill. Okay, with the 10 there, pay attention. You're probably going to go ahead and catch that second rail, but okay, nice shot. Recognizing, don't worry about being a little further away, so you have your line on the ball. And
He's just going to go forward 2 rails to get on the 9. Yeah, it's going to
just
lay right on it,
smooth. He doesn't need a whole lot. May need the bridge here, but
Well, actually, he's lucky he stopped it where he did because it was rolling right at the side pocket. I wouldn't say it's luck. It's just, you know, he wasn't planning to get on the rail.
Dennis, great with the bridge, carefree. Said, hold on, John Lehman. One more. And is this his first lead of the match?
First lead of the match.
No, he won the. Yeah?
Yeah, it's first
yeah, it
lead
is
of the
his
match.
first lead.
He was down 4-1, and he's won 4 games in a row to take the first lead of the match. Good example of the old saying, the cream always rises. Started out at 2-0, went to 2-1, then 4-1. So Marco won 2 games, lost 1, won 2 games, and then they went back and forth for 4 games apiece.
Now Dennis reeled off 4 in a row.
Yeah, and then Marco won 1, and then Dennis after that has won 4 in a row. And we find ourselves at 9-8. Dennis leading for the first time in the match.
Or you think the lag doesn't matter? You come down this scenario here. If he wins this game, he'll still only be secured 1 break for the match, and that's how important the lag is.
Even in a race to 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's the lag's not that important when you win 11-3 or whatever you want, however you want to call it or look at it. But the 2's going to get covered up. It always seems to go like this. But he can see a piece, though, I think. But whenever it comes down to the end of it, really shows you how that big that lag is.
Oh, yeah, you can see enough to get back behind that 7 ball. He's calling the 2 ball 1 rail.
Oh, he can bank it? Oh, yeah, he's going to shoot it then.
calling
Yeah, I would too. I ain't going to lie. I love this bank on a diamond table. Long railers are, I think, just as easy as the cross corners. He won't slow roll it either. There's not much two-way here. Not much two-way there, George.
And he's probably, well, all he has to do is keep his keep the line and not make a huge error.
With the cue ball somehow.
the
He can
cue
go,
ball somehow. I
he can
don't
go
understand
past the
what-
7 here to the bottom rail and back up. So
You know,
everything's sitting pretty. Now the 9,
Yeah.
he's going to have to make a little bit of a shot on the 9.
I hate having the ball right there by that side pocket like that. It complicates things.
Well, it's definitely something you notice immediately,
Sure.
don't
See
you?
it
As
right
soon
away.
as
As soon
you
as you
break
see
the
it there,
balls, it's like, whoop.
You sit there, oh, thanks a lot, ball.
What's wrong? Clean the cue ball. He wants the cue ball clean. There was a hair of a kick right there. That's normally what it would be, because he's definitely not. He's not shooting the 7 at a real soft speed, like a
No,
roll speed at all. So.
Well, he's not going to risk coming across the 10, is he?
Oh no!
He's gonna come to
No,
the
he'll
middle.
just kill it. Dennis would normally just kill this. Dennis is not afraid to kill the cue ball with English, which I like. Stays making a lot of the same swings. Swing speeds are real close, and you just grip the cue ball differently. Whoa, whoa! Caught the
He wants
8th
a little
into the
straighter,
hole
yeah.
there. Caught the 8th into the pocket.
And he's a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, big time.
Yep. Just go for this right down the rail.
Yeah, either you bank it
Yeah.
or you cut it. I like cutting it myself.
I like cutting it. Staying underneath. Get on either side of the 10, you have an easy shot, so you're not really worried about shape on the 10.
And if you can stay composed and just hit it nice and clean, that rail slides real nice and the pocket is pretty generous.
Nope.
No, sir.
Nope.
Wow.
Well, as easy as they looked, that 9 ball came up and bit him.
Wow.
And like you said, he cut that 8 ball thin.
Yeah. That was a little bit kind of like that 2 ball coming across and getting snookered on that 3 earlier. If you just take a little more time at what you're looking at and just ensure you're not going to catch. It's a pretty short shot on the 8 to catch it a little thin to the hole. Right? I mean, it wasn't long distance on the 8 or anything. It wasn't anything like this.
This is kind of like the shot that Shane missed in his match against what was it?
Against Marco.
Against Marco. And actually, I think we saw Marco miss a shot like this.
Yeah, he missed a 10 ball.
He missed a 10 ball like this.
Yep, against Dennis, I think.
I forget
last
who
night.
it was, but
against Dennis, I believe. Last night, or no, it wasn't against Dennis. It was against Thorsten. Excuse me. It was in the Final Four of the winner's side. Okay, rattled it
Missed
home.
that one. Made that one.
Sure did.
Well, that stops the 4-game streak by Dennis.
And it might stop more than that by Dennis. Hate to say it, but man, you get that opportunity come to the end of the match, you really want to capitalize.
Because this young man now has a spring in the step.
Yeah, and gets 2 out of the next 3 breaks if it goes that distance.
bit of a hush over the room. Because now this break is big. You don't want to lose control. Especially after taking advantage of that big mistake by Dennis.
Marco trying to make a decision on where he wants to break from. I don't think he's going to go to the soft break that we did see him change to just for a few racks. I believe it was against Skyler when he kept breaking dry. Was playing great, but was breaking dry. So I don't think we're going to see the light one when he broke off the end rail. I don't know if you remember that, George, but he broke 2 or 3 games in a row off the end rail with a real light speed, and then immediately didn't have results with that and changed.
Well, here comes the results right there. Goes the deuce.
Okay, the deuce got down, but it wasn't one of them guaranteed ones or the ones you're usually looking for.
No, it was kissed around on the side and it came straight across the, almost like out of the other side pocket. Came spinning over. Cue ball come right into the 7 here.
Evan Broxmeyer in the house from New York City. Player used to play on some of the pro tournaments back in the day, many of them actually. Good guy. Okay, as he cut this, go back and forth with inside English. He's got the 3 available for, I think, both lower corners.
Yeah, both go.
Okay, is he going to get on top of it? Okay, he's got it. He's got it for the lower right.
John's on top of this, watching this shot. He's going to have to elevate a little bit.
Shaking his hand a little bit like he gotten a little cramp in his hand or something.
Now this to get on the hill. These 7 balls.
Yeah, and secure at least one chance to break the balls at hill if it goes there. And
just think, well, Dennis had that opportunity. If he runs that last rack, he breaks and to get on the hill. But instead, the young man took advantage.
okay, normally he would come back for this past the side. He's done pretty much when he's had a choice. And here it's probably a little safer just because of the congestion, and he shouldn't have any problem doing it either, meaning the side shouldn't really be much of a threat.
You don't like him coming around the A10 to the bottom?
With
like
inside, you mean?
Yeah, with inside.
Not really.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I like him pulling it past the side this time, actually. He's looking at that inside now in between the 8-10-3 rails. But, I mean, that's more of a missable shot to me. Way more missable the top inside is. I mean, that's what he's doing, actually, but.
Spins down, comes right between the 8, just like there you go.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
but no.
Just to say it like another one of those games, you know, let me just dial it in and hit the button and it does it. But most players try to stay away from that inside English.
Yeah, I've actually gotten to a point where I use it so much that I've gotten to a point that I use that English so much that it's the outside English that I don't use well on those shots.
Really?
Yeah, because I use it like all the time. It just makes the shot so much easier to aim too, for me.
Well, do you play with low deflection?
I didn't used to. I'm starting to now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm finally getting to a point where I can shoot that shot and be successful with it consistently. It's taken quite a while. Just a little bit back. There you go. Come all the way over to play the 9-ball in the corner, or just go ahead and play it in the side?
I don't like the side.
Yeah, I like going all the way to the corner and just laying the cue ball on the rail.
Yeah.
What a nice job he's done with his cue ball.
And really love the timing of the swing for the most part. Nothing to worry about here. Just hold the ball.
Hold the ball, yeah.
No reason to slam it in and go over. You've been pinch holding the ball real well all week.
First place monies, $10,000. Second place monies, $6,500.
Ooh. Put that a bit wide.
Nerves are raging, even for shots like this. What a tournament, what a match this has been. We had a great tournament, great matches. For those of you at home, I hope you enjoyed them. We certainly did here. Saw some great play. Throughout the tournament. Saw matches like James Aranas, Tyler Steyer, Corey Dool, Torsten Homan. Started out with Billy Thorpe and Alex Pagulayan. Kurt Kobayashi, Ruslan Chinaoff. Darren Appleton, Robert Ferry, Skylar Woodward, Marco Teutscher. Dennis to break the balls at 10-9. He can't afford any mistakes now. He's got 2 games to make up. He's got to win 2 games. Can't afford his opponent to win a game. But he can't stop him from breaking.
Yeah, if it goes hill,
If it goes
Marco will break.
Yeah. Dennis has to do his job here, control this rack, and get the W.
Oh, cue ball was getting kissed in at first. He's going to get a long shot on the 1, a little straight.
He's got a shot on the 1, 2 ball by the side pocket.
And
Open enough.
He's got some work here, and he's got a bit of a tester here on the 1 because he needs to go ahead and put top inside here and come 2 rails towards the 2 a little bit. Very imperative that he gets good enough on the 2 to where he feels comfortable enough coming across for the 3. So you don't want to get thin on the 3 and have to move the cue ball for the 4, I don't think. So this is a big shot here with the top inside. That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about, just that 1 ball a little bit. And he had to shoot it that way, though, I think. And didn't expect it to hang at that speed, and neither did I, really.
It's tough to hang that ball at that speed. Well, it's not tough to hang it, but
Well, when you hit it that, I mean, you know, he didn't hit it perfect, obviously, but he didn't hit it horrible. So it's just a matter on this first shot is I think Marco probably wants to just draw straight out of this ball. I mean, from that fat angle coming across like that, it's real hard to judge coming off the point here.
this is one of the things I tell people that, you know, that are learning to play or are trying to get better is learn to come out of these pockets, especially on these diamond tables. They can be tricky, and coming straight out is.
Well, it's in your control a little more if you draw straight out of there. And he only needs, see where Dennis was at was good enough. So he doesn't need a ton coming out of there. He needs a good 2 feet maybe. He's trying to come off that point. I think there's some guesswork. One thing is, I'm not sure what he's going to figure out here that he doesn't already know.
It looks like he's aiming to come off the top rail, kiss the one, go rail first, kiss the, come down for the 2 on the side.
Rail first?
That'd be kind of crazy.
No, I can't.
No,
do
he's
that.
going. He's going ball and rail. Yeah, I don't know. That's what he was. He was looking at something to do with the corner of the pocket.
Yeah, just how he's going to come off the one end of that corner, I think, is all. He wasn't stretched. I think he would draw straight out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And he did draw straight out. And he got nice stuff on it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get across and get real heavy on that 3 like I was talking about. So got some work left for sure.
One thing he does do on these shots is he hits them real clean, and if he can get it off that rail, he's going to get it off that rail and start it out towards that 3. If he can get to the middle of the table, I don't mind him. I wouldn't mind shooting the 3 ball with a little draw and bumping the 4 off the rail.
Yeah. TV tells us that's available, but I'm not so sure that's available at all.
Look how nice he comes across here.
And he's going to get a real nice bounce off the second rail. And ideal, I think, anyways.
This is big for this young man. Marco Teutscher, New Zealand.
And just draw your ball out of there here, I think. You can play it long on the 4, but I don't think you really have any problems drawing the ball as long as you don't let up on the stroke. Meaning you can catch a piece of the 4 and still come out of there no problem. Only way really, like I said, if you kind of steer the draw stroke a little bit. You go ahead and let it be free like you've been doing. It's going to be just fine. That's good.
He wants to be closer, but he knows it's good. I'd like to be, you know, just want to be right where you want. Just.
No, he's good. Just settle for that 4 or 5 inches off the rail. You don't need to get a 1.5 feet. Cut the 5 and run to the rail and over for the 6. You can see the 7, 8. Those aren't much concern at all. Now, just a couple things. Dennis got snookered early on a 3 ball. He missed an open 2 ball after making 4 balls on the break. That's when it kind of started to get away from him. Then he came, clawed back, and got the lead. And just made an error that you just didn't expect. Not much to think about here. Just draw your ball back with a little low right English. Not a lot of right, just a little. Is he worried about drawing it into the side? Is he not coming into this rail with the cue ball?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to settle down. His nerves are raging. He's on the verge of winning the U.S. Open 10-ball championships over one of the most dominating opponents. Only person probably more dominating than Dennis in 10-ball would be Shane. And I'm not saying Shane is more dominating. I'm saying if there was someone, that's who I think it would be. Although the Chinese Taipei gave us a little different idea, or put their foot in the door also. Just go ahead and stop this here. Bring it back a little bit so that you can use the rail to come down for the 10.
Yeah, I don't stop it. I bring it back for sure.
Sure.
I don't want to go to the wrong side of the table for no reason on the 10.
Perfect. See if he shakes his fist here once he makes this 8-ball and gets good on the 10. He did it on the last match.
He's just got to screw this back a little bit with some low right. Pocket's pretty big from this angle. Really hard to make any mistakes.
And this for the 10-ball U.S. Open Championship. Marco Teutscher over Dennis Orcollo.
Yeah,
11-9.
Marco played great, and so did Dennis. Two well-deserving finalists.
John Lehman congratulating him. CueSports International congratulates him. George Teutscher and Jeremy Jones congratulate him.
That's right. Well done.
Well done, Marco. What a great tournament you had, young man.
Yep.
I'd like to thank all the viewers for tuning in, joining us on the stream. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for the opening of the U.S. Open 8-ball championships right here at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a nice round of applause for Dennis Orcollo. And from CueSports International, the CEO of CueSports International, Ozzie Reynolds. Ozzie, our 2019 U.S. Open 10-ball champion, Marco Teutscher.
get a couple photos before you go.
Oh, yeah.